Students, welcome to Aditya Academy. I'm Dr. Ragini Arora, and today in this video we are going to finish exercise 9.1 from Ncert. We had finished till question 8 in the last video, and rest from question 9 to 15 we are going to finish in this video. Now in this question we have two vertical objects. One is a tower and the other one is a building. Now here we have to check which has a bigger height. The angle of elevation of the top of a building from the foot of the tower is 30 degrees, and the angle of elevation of the top of the tower from the foot of the building is 60 degrees. If the tower is 50 meter high, find the height of the building. So here, let's say this is PQ and this is AB, right? Since this is at a bigger height, now in this question we have two vertical objects. One is tower and one is building. But in case you are not sure that which is taller in height, we have to read the question carefully. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower from the foot of the building is 60 degrees. On the other hand, the angle of elevation of the top of building from the foot of the tower is 30. That means the building is lower in height because the angle of elevation is less. So that means this we have to treat as building. So angle of elevation of the top of the building from the foot of the tower is 30 degrees. And next he says the angle of elevation of the top of the building top of the tower from the foot of the building. Now this is the building. Angle of elevation from here is 60 degrees. Since the angle of elevation of tower is greater angle, that is why tower has to be taller in size. If the tower is 50 meter high, this is 50 meter, right? Now he says find the height of the building. We have to find this building. Let its height be h, right? Now there is no horizontal distance given to us. Let it be x. Now we define these values here. Let PQ be the tower, so that PQ is 50 meters in height. Let AB be the building. So AB height we can assume as h meters. Initially we have to find the height of the building. Now let BQ is equal to x meters, which is distance between tower and the building, right? Now in this case the angle of elevation of the top of the building is angle AQB, which is 30 degrees. Angle of elevation of top of the tower from building is PBQ, which is 60 degrees. So these are the initial introductory part. Now we are starting with the triangles. In right triangle PQB, right? Now we have the relationship between the perpendicular and base. There is no hypotenuse involved in both the triangles. So perpendicular and base gives us tan. So we have tan of 60 degree is PQ upon BQ. Root 3 is PQ is 50 meters and BQ we have x. So we can write x as 50 divided by root 3 meters, right? In the next triangle, right triangle ABC, again we have to take tan of 30 degree, which is AB upon BQ. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3 and height of building we have assumed as h and x is the distance. Now from here we can write x is equal to root 3h. Let this be equation 1. Let this be equation 2. Now since x is not required in this question, so right now I need to eliminate x from these two equations. So what I can do is putting value of x from equation 1 in equation 2. X is 50 upon root 3. So I have replaced this x by this value. This is equal to root 3h. So now by cross multiplying, we can write 50 is equal to 3h, right? So h becomes 50 by 3, that is, h is 16, in fractions we can write 16, 48, 50 by 3 meters. So the height of building in this case is 16, 2 by 3 meters, right? Next question is, two poles of equal heights are standing opposite each other. So we have to make two poles which are equal in height. They are standing opposite each other. Let one pole be AB and other be PQ. They have the same height. They are standing opposite to each other on either side of a road which is 80 meter wide. Like you can see that BQ is the distance between them. So this is the width of the road. They are on the opposite sides of road. They are equal in height and the width of the road in this case is 80 meters. Next he says from a point between them on the road. A point is anywhere on this road, BQ. The angles of elevation of the top of the poles are 60 and 30. See, they are not saying that point lies in the middle of the road. It is anywhere on this road, so that the angle of elevation, one angle is 60 degree and the other one is 30 degrees. I had told you earlier, the angle which is closer to the vertical objects is always the larger angle. So let this be 60. This is farther from the distance from this AB, so this is 30 degrees. Now what happens, since this whole width, let me erase this first, this whole width is 80 meters, so we can assume that any of these distances be x. Let this point be M. So BM be x. Now this distance becomes 80 minus x, because the length of whole BQ is 80 meters. I hope this is clear. So I've assumed that this M point is somewhere between B and Q, so that BM becomes x. So the rest of the portion MQ becomes 80 minus x. And since the height of the two poles are equal, so I'm assuming them to be h. Let height of poles AB is equal to PQ is equal to h meters. Both the poles are of the same height. Now let BM is equal to x meters. M be the point on the road BQ. So MQ becomes 80 minus x in meters. And let angle of elevation, this angle is angle AMB. AMB is 30 degrees and angle PMQ is 60 degrees. So now find the height of the poles and the distances of the point from the poles. In this case, we have to find h as well as x. So in right triangle ABM, relationship between perpendicular and base, so we have tan of 30 degree is AB is equal to AB upon BM. 1 upon root 3, AB we have treated as h and BM is x. So this is one relationship between x and h. Let this be equation 1. In triangle PQM, here we have tan 60 is equal to PQ upon MQ. So this is root 3. PQ is also h and the distance, horizontal distance between M and Q is 80 minus x. So now we can cross multiply and we can write h is root 3 times 80 minus x. Right, let this be equation 2. Now here x is written in terms of h, here h in terms of x. So we can either eliminate x first or h first, because in this case we have to find both the variables. So it doesn't matter in which order you follow. So right now what I am doing is x is root 3h. So now putting x from 1 in equation 2. So here we have h is equal to root 3. 80 minus x can be written as root 3h. So simplify this. H is 80 root 3 multiplied by 3h. Root 3 into root 3 h. So we have h plus 3h is equal to 80 root 3. So 4h is equal to 80 root 3. Ultimately h is 80 by 4, that is 20 root 3. Right? So this is the height of poles. Both the poles AB and PQ are equal to 20 root 3 meters. Now then we have to find the value of x. So x here becomes root 3 times 20 root 3 meters. That is 20 into 3, which is 60 meters. So now that means this distance is 60 meters. This becomes 20 meters. So both the values have been found, x as well as h. So we can write here height of poles is equal to 20 root 3 meters and m is at a distance of 60 meters from B and 20 meters from Q. That means that point is at a distance of 60 meters from pole AB and 20 meters from pole PQ. So I hope this is clear. Next question is, a TV tower stands vertically on a bank of a canal. From a point on the other bank directly opposite the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. So assume that in the previous question we had a road between two poles. Here we have a canal between a tower and we are looking at this tower from the other bank of this canal. A TV tower stands vertically on a bank of a canal. Let this be the TV tower AB. From a point on the other bank, let this be point M. So BM be the breadth of the canal. From a point on the other bank directly opposite the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. It is a point. So we are taking it on the horizontal ground. So angle of elevation of top of the tower is 60 degrees. From another point 20 meters away from this point on the line joining the point to the foot of the tower. Now we have to consider one more point, which is 20 meters away from this point. Away means since we cannot have a point, another point in this width BM. This is canal, right? So we have to move away from here. That means this is a point. Let this be a point. Let's say Q, which is 20 meters away from M, and the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degrees. So this angle of elevation becomes 30 degrees, right? Let me explain once again. A TV tower stands vertically on the bank of a canal. Canal is the width. So let B be one end of the canal, one bank of the canal, M be the other bank. M is a point on the opposite side of the canal. From this point, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 60 degrees. Now he says from another point 20 meters away. Away means on the opposite side, opposite to that of the tower. It is not towards the tower. 20 meters away from this point on the line joining this point to the foot of the tower. We have to consider the point on the same line. The angle of elevation of the top of the tower is 30 degrees. Even if you miss any chance of understanding this language, try to learn this thing. I have told you about 2-3 times that the larger angle is closer. So if this we already had 60 degrees and the next angle is 30 degrees, that means we are going farther from the foot of the vertical object. So Q is farther than M. So Q lies here. We have to find the height of the tower. this and the width of the canal, which is BM and X. So let height of the tower AB is equal to H meters and width of the canal BM be X meters, right? Now angle of elevation AMB is 60 degrees and angle of elevation AQB is 30 degrees. Now we are going to solve these two triangles. In right triangle ABM, tan 60 degrees is AB upon BM. Root 3 is AB H upon BM X. So H is equal to root 3x, right? This is the first relationship from the first triangle. In right triangle ABQ, we have tan of 30 degrees, which is AB upon BQ. Tan 30 is 1 upon root 3. AB is H and base is BQ, which is X plus 20. So we have X plus 20 is equal to root 3H. This is your second equation. Now again we have to find both the variables H and X, so we can do it in either of the orders. We can find H first or X first. From like putting H from 1 in equation 2. So the value of H is root 3x. So we have X plus 20 is equal to root 3 times root 3x. So x plus 20 is 3x. So we have 20 is equal to 3x minus x, that is 2x is equal to 20. So x becomes 10 meters. So width of this canal BM is 10 meters. Then we have in equation 1, H is root 3x. H is root 3 times x, that is 10. So height of the tower is 10 root 3 meters. This is one variable, this is the other variable. So finally we can write height of the tower is 10 root 3 meters and width of canal is x, which is 10 meters, right? Next question is, from the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degrees and the angle of depression of its foot is 45 degrees. And this is different from rest of the questions. From the top of a 7-meter high building, let AB be the building which is 7-meter high. The angle of elevation, that means when you are standing at the top of the building, you are looking at the top of a cable tower. That means it is higher in altitude. So at that case, angle of elevation is 60 degrees. So if the height of the building is 7 meters, we are now by standing at the top of the building, we are looking at the top of a cable tower which is making an angle of 60 degree. Now let this be PQ, be the height of the cable tower. This is tower. And from the top of the building, angle of elevation is 60. And the angle of depression. Now depression is when we look down to an object, look down on an object which is lower to us in the height. Now that means we are looking at depression of its foot. From the same point, top of the building, we are looking at the foot of the tower. So that means this is a normal line of sight. This is. From here, if we look at the top, this is angle of elevation of the top of the tower. and this is angle of depression, which is 45 degrees when we look at the foot of the tower. We have to find the height of the tower. This whole height PQ we have to find. Now we can say that if we join these lines, this is a parallelogram, a rectangle, in which if AB is 7, let this point be M, MQ is also 7. This is in parallel. AM is a line parallel to the horizontal. When we talk about the line of sight, this is the parallel line to the horizontal. So ABQM is a parallelogram or rectangle. So this opposite sides are equal. If the AB is 7, MQ is 7. I am assuming BQ to be X, so AM also becomes X, right? Let AB is equal to 7 meters be the height of the building. Height of the building. Let PQ is equal to PM plus MQ. I am assuming this PM part to be H. This PM plus MQ meters be the height of the cable tower. So we can assume that PQ is equal to H plus 7 meters. Right? We have to find the value of H so that we can find the total height of the tower. Now, the angle of elevation PAM, angle PAM is 60 degrees, and angle QAM is angle of depression, which is 45 degrees. Right? Now one more thing, when we solve any question here, since we have two full triangles over here, otherwise you can see that AM is parallel to BQ. I told you because both the lines represent horizontal lines. That means angle MAQ is equal to angle AQB, alternate angles. So this angle also becomes 45 degrees. They are alternate angles. This is very important thing. Whenever we have angle of depression, it actually lies outside the triangle where we have to consider the sides. So we need to take that angle inside the triangle by alternate angles. Now in right triangle ABQ, the relationship between AB and BQ is tan. Tan 45 is AB upon BQ. This is 1. AB is 7, BQ is X. So we can say X is 7 meters. Now in triangle, next we have to find H. That is line between this PMA triangle. We can consider right triangle PMA. Again, X we have found. And H we have to find. So this is the relationship between them is perpendicular and base. So again we have tan 60 degrees. It is PM upon AM. Tan 60 is root 3. PM is H. X we have found. So we can write root 3 is equal to H upon 7. So we can write H is 7 root 3 meters. Right? So this was height of cable tower is equal to PQ is equal to H plus 7 meters. So we have H is 7 root 3 plus 7 meters. So we get it 7 in bracket root 3 plus 1 meters. Right, this is the final answer. Next we have, as observed from the top of a 75-meter high lighthouse from the sea level, the angles of depression of two ships are 30 degree and 45 degree. If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse, so both the ships are on the same side, right? Let this be the lighthouse, AB be the height. as observed from the top of a 75-meter height. This height is given to us. Height of the lighthouse is 75 meters. Lighthouse from the sea level. The height from this is the sea level. VPQ. VPQ is the line which denotes sea level. This lighthouse is at a height of 75 meters. The angles of depression. Depression means you have to draw a line parallel to the horizontal here. The person standing at the top of the lighthouse can see two ships which are making angle of depressions as 30 and 45. The bigger one is 45 and the smaller one is 30 degrees. Right? If one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of lighthouse, find the distance between the two ships. This is X that we have to find. This is P and Q represent two ships and AB is the tower, lighthouse. Let AB is equal to 75 meters be the lighthouse, height of the lighthouse. Let P and Q are two ships, right? And PQ is the distance X meters between them, right? So now angle of depression, see these angles right now are not falling into the triangles. What we have to do is let AX, here AX is parallel to BQ. So we can say that this angle XAQ, angle XAQ is equal to angle AQB, AQB, and angle XAP, XAP is equal to angle APB. Why? Because they are alternate angles. So if this whole is 45, then this angle XAP is equal to APB. This is alternate angle. XAQ is 30 is equal to angle AQB. So this is 30 degree. So now we have shifted. This is very important in case of angle of depressions. If you miss out presenting all these things, you will lose marks in your presentation. So angle of depression actually falls outside the triangle, and then by the concept of these parallel lines we have to bring those angles into the triangles. Now in right triangle ABP, tan 45, this is not known to us BP, let this be Y. Tan 45 is equal to AB upon BP. So tan 45 is 1, AB is 75, BP is Y. So Y is 75 meters. Let this be equation 1. In triangle ABQ, tan 30 degree is AB upon whole BQ. This is the base of the bigger triangle BQ. Tan 30 is 1 upon root 3, AB is 75, X plus Y is the base. So by cross multiplication, X plus Y is 75 root 3. Right? This is equation 2. Now from 1 and 2, I am putting the value of Y in equation 2. So we have X plus 75 is equal to 75 root 3. X is 75 root 3 minus 75. So X is 75 in bracket, this is root 3 minus 1 meters. Right, we had to find the distance between the two ships. So distance between two ships is equal to X is equal to 75 in bracket root 3 minus 1 meters. Right. Now the next question is, a 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon. Here we have girl herself is 1.2 meter tall. So let AB be the height of the girl. Let PQ be the height of balloon and RS be the second situation. Now the question says, a 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon moving with the wind in a horizontal line at a height of 88.2 meters. Okay, now this is 88.2, but we have to see that since the girl herself is 1.2 meter tall, so what we have to do, we have to reduce 1.2. So 88.2 minus 1.2 is 87 meters. We have cut down this 1.2, the remaining height becomes 87 meters here. Let this be point M and this be N. Now in the first case, the angle of elevation of the balloon from the eyes of the girl at any instant is 60 degrees. This angle is 60 degrees. Now the question says the balloon is moving horizontal. Horizontal means there is no change in the height of balloon. So the horizontal distance is changing, but the horizontal distance is changing. So the balloon now has reached to point R. And at that time, at any instant is 60 degree. After some time, the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degrees. I have told you many times that whenever the thing is closer to us, the vertical object is closer to us, the angle of elevation is larger because we have to raise at a larger height. We have to raise our eyes to a larger height, and when we are looking at some distance, the angle is less. So in this case, angle of elevation is 30 degrees. And since I have reduced this height of girl from both the heights, so let PQ is equal to RN, PM is equal to RN is equal to 87 meters, right? And angle of elevation PAM is 60 degrees and angle RAN is 30 degrees. Height of girl is AB is equal to 1.2 meters. So now we have adjusted the girl's height from the height of balloon. Now in right triangle PMA, let this distance, the previous distance between the balloon and the girl is, let's say this be y, and the balloon has covered a distance of x meters, so that the angle changes from 60 to 30. Now in right triangle PMA, tan of 60 degrees is PM upon AM. This is root 3. PM is 87 and the horizontal distance is y. So y can be written as 87 by 3. Let this be first equation. In right triangle RNA, tan 30 degrees is Rn upon AN, this whole horizontal distance AN. This is 1 by root 3. Rn is 87. AN is the whole length y plus x. So x plus y can be written as 87 root 3. Let this be equation 2. Now from equation 1 and equation 2, we need not find the value of y because it is not required. They haven't asked this question. Find the distance traveled by the balloon. We only have to find x, the horizontal distance that the balloon has moved from point P to point R, which is equal to x. So I am substituting value of y in equation 2. X plus 87 by root 3 is 87 root 3. So x becomes 87 root 3 minus 87 upon root 3, which is 87 root 3 minus 1 by root 3. So we have, this is equal to, I can write it here. This is 87 root 3 into root 3 is 3 minus 1 upon root 3, which is 87 multiplied by 2 root 3. So I am rationalizing this here, which is x is equal to 87 into 2 root 3 by 3. 3 2s are 6, 29 2s are 58 root 3 meters is the horizontal distance. X is 58 root 3 meters, right? This is the last question of this exercise, and this has got a different approach at the last. A straight highway leads to the foot of a tower. A man standing at the top of the tower observes a car at an angle of depression of 30 degrees. Initially, a straight highway leads to the foot of the tower. Let AB be the tower. Now the car is initially at a position P, from where the angle of depression, sorry, I should make angle of depression first. This is 30 degrees, right? Now the tower observes a car at an angle of depression of 30 degrees, which is approaching the foot of the tower with a uniform speed. 6 seconds later, the angle of depression of the car is found to be 60 degrees. Right? This distance, let this distance be x. This distance be equal to y. This distance has been covered in 6 seconds. Find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from this point. So now let AB is equal to, I am assuming the height of the tower. Find the time. Yes, the height of the tower is not given to us. Let AB is equal to h meters be the height of the tower. Height of the tower. Now initially the car was at point P. A person standing at the top of the tower can have a look at this car with an angle of depression of 60 degrees. The eyes are making an angle of 60 degrees with the horizontal. Now after 6 seconds, the car is approaching towards the tower. It is coming close. That is why angle of elevation has become larger now. Earlier it was 30. Now it has increased to 60 degrees. And the car has traveled a distance of MP or x meters, which is being covered in 6 seconds. Now the question says, 6 seconds later, the angle of depression of car is found to be 60 degrees. Find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from this point. We have to find how much time is taken to cover the distance y, right? So we can write here angle XAP is equal to angle APB. This you have to mention in case of depression, angle of depressions. Angle XAM is equal to angle AMB, right? These are alternate angles. So let angle AMB is equal to 60 degrees. Angle APB is equal to 30 degrees. And BM is equal to y meters middle distance. And MP is equal to x meters. Right? Now, in triangle ABM, tan 60 degrees is AB upon BM. That means root 3 is h upon y. So we can write that h is equal to root 3y. This is the first equation. In triangle ABP, tan 30 degrees is equal to AB upon BP. 1 by root 3 is AB is h upon BP is x plus y. So we can write x plus y is equal to root 3h. Right? What we can do here is we can substitute the value of h here. So x plus y is equal to root 3. H itself is root 3y. So we can write x plus y is equal to 3y. So x is equal to 3y minus y. So we have x is equal to 2y. Relationship between these two horizontal distances is this: x is equal to 2y. Now see, the car is moving with a fixed speed. Let speed of car is equal to v meter per second. Right? Now time time taken to cover x meters is equal to 6 seconds. How can we do this? What is the time? Time is distance upon speed. So time is 6. Distance is x. Speed we have taken v. So we can write x is equal to 6 times v. Right? X is equal to 6v. And then we have to find the time for time which it will take to cover the distance y. That is t2. Then time is what? Distance upon speed. Distance is y, right? Y upon speed is v. Now what is y? Y is equal to x by 2. Y is x by 2. So the x by 2 divided by v. Now what we have found? X is equal to 6v. That means 6v by 2 divided by v. I can do it here. This is 3v by v. That is 3. Right? Let me explain you once again. We have to first develop a relation between these two horizontal distances, y and x, that we have got here. X is 2y. Now we have to assume that the speed of the car is v meters per second. So the time taken is 6 seconds to cover the distance of x. Right? So I have written time is distance upon speed. Time given to us is 6. Distance covered is x, and we have assumed that speed is v. This is the relationship between this what we had been given. Now we have to use this to find time taken to cover y. Let this be time t2. Time is distance upon speed, y upon v. Now I have put the values of y over here. Y is x by 2. X by 2 and value of x in terms of v is 6v. So 6v by 2. 6v by 2 is 3v. 3v divided by v. So t2 is 3. That means time taken to cover y meters is equal to 3 seconds. Right? So this is a good question. Attempt it yourself twice or thrice, then you will understand how to follow it when a similar question is there in the paper. I hope you liked watching this video. Please like, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.